Good night, everyone. Please let me know if you're hearing me and you're hearing me clearly. Are you hearing? Type it in the chat if you are. Good night, Michael. Night, Letitia. Good night, Kason. Oh, I was wondering if I don't know you because your name sounds familiar. So I was wondering if you were from like a previous time. Oh, so for the remainder of the week you'll get some computer science leading up to the exam as well. Good. So you'll be getting some computer science content. Natasha. Um all right, so we're going to prepare for the IT tonight, and then I need to schedule as it relates to the computer science unit 1 and unit 2. So I need to basically schedule for those. So for the exam past paper, then a day the day before or 2 days before we'll be doing the past paper for last year, and then I'll be dropping some notes or tips for different sections of the syllabus. Definitely, we'll be looking on Unit 1 and putting in some focus as well on Unit 3 for computer science. Hi, Javon. I think I said hi, Natasha, from before. All right. So rest is important, and I'm sure no one would have no one would have somehow leaked the IT paper. So we're going to go through the January 2023 paper. I think the channel already has the January 2022 as well as the June 2022 on it. So you can always go back and revise for those. And while it is that you're studying, even after the live, I'm going to encourage you all to revisit the productivity tools so that you know the steps as it relates to the different parts. And I hope you guys have your syllabus as well, so you know what it is that you need to cover. Hi, Deandra. You're going to do well tomorrow. All ones. Are you ready? I'd love to go without the fan. Hopefully, the sound of the fan is not bothering you. The time is hot. Yes, Michael, and thanks for joining. All right, good. So while it is that we're going through the questions, I'm going to just ask that you add your response in the chat and then we'll take it from there. All right, so the first question deals with computer software. We know that the major components, the two main components of a computer system, would be hardware and software. We need both for our computer to function. And this question is specific to software and application software. Good. So it says complete the table provided below by identifying each of the following application software types which matches the description shown in the table. All right. You can share the live with the other persons that you know. So the first one, software developed to perform a specific task rather than a range of functions. For example, online gaming software for a specific game. Let's see the answers in the chat. I see customized. Customized is the first one. Are you seeing the screen? If you're not seeing the image clearly, you'll have to change the quality of the video. So it's on your screen. It is saying software developed to perform a specific task rather than a range of functions. For example, online gaming software for a specific game. All right, so I see Clutch there. Oh, sorry. And I see Ati with the answer. Very good. So that one is special purpose. Correct. So special purpose software, they are only used for one thing and one thing only. All right, what about the second one? Second one, software developed for use in a specific organization. For example, for the military, for banks, air traffic. All right, very good. That one is custom written. So written specifically for the organization, no one else will have it. All right, very good. Number three, software not specific to any organization or company, and the user decides what to use the software for. What's that one? Correct. All right. This one, Miss, are you sure that's not special purpose? Which one are you talking, Harris? The special purpose software, no, they're somewhat like the general purpose, so everyone would have access to it. It's just that they only do a specific task. So for the we said that the second one was custom written. So like when you think about the military, they are going to have persons write their application based on their needs, and then you won't find it in any other organization. Binary is no longer part of your syllabus, Cairo, Cairo Flame, so don't worry about it. No, no programs, just algorithm. All right, moving on to the fourth. So we did say the first one, special purpose. The second one is custom written. The third one is general purpose. What about the last one? It says software that has been modified by the developer to perform a specific task for the user. All right. That's correct. So the last one would be customized. All right, Javon, very good. All right, moving on. How did we get all the way down here? All right, my apologies. Moving on to B, 1B. 1B says, explain what is meant by the following statement. Turnaround document is a human readable document that is transformed into machine readable document. So first thing we're going to look on is what is human readable? What is a human readable document? Hard copy to soft copy? You're answering the question as a whole, or you're answering what is human readable? Denari. Come on, guys. Human readable? Naturally read by humans. So it is in your language. It is that which you understand. So it's just like us communicating. That's human language, right? So once it is that you're able to understand it, and machine readable would be, that's a human readable, Rajiv. All right, very good, Brittany. Information read or understood by the machine or by the computer. So when we think about machine language, we're thinking about zeros and ones. So that which the computer understands. Some turnaround documents. Okay, understand. So for your machine readable is data structured in a format that can be understood and processed by a computer. All right, very good. So when we think about turnaround document, what comes to mind? Bubble sheet. All right, that can be, yes, John. Unique information, medical forms, document that only human can read. But it says that a turnaround document is a human readable document that is transformed into machine readable document. So, all right. So the only thing I would ask you to add to this, Denari, is that additional information is added to it. So when the person said bubble sheet and I said that's correct, you would enter the bubble sheet as a turnaround document. The system would convert it, it would mark it, right? After it is marked, a grade is added or a total is added. So therefore, additional information is added to that which was there before. So let's say for instance you go to the doctor and you're given a form to fill out. They enter the information into a system and then additional information is added, such as let's say your patient ID number. It's going to add which doctor it is that you're going to see, whether it is that you have your health card information like those. So it is going to change or additional things will be added to it, like a an electricity bill. So here in Jamaica, when we get our JPS bill, there's a part on the bottom that you can tear off. So I can take that to the bill payment place. They will accept the information that is on it. I'm going to tell them how much it is that I'm going to pay, and they will add that to the system, and I will get additional information added to it, date of payment, etc. So it's filled out by a human, it's entered back into the machine, and additional data added to it. Brittany. Are we clear? All right. So turnaround document is a human readable document that is transferred. So that is what I'm saying. They would basically be affirming that. Why it is a turnaround document? So it's a human readable document because the user is going to get it in a form that they understand, right? After it is that they get that form and they fill out said form or document in the format that they understand, it will be entered into the system, turning it into a machine readable document for additional information to be added. Is that clear, Denari? That can work as well, Latisha. All right. So moving right along to the next part, it says outline one example of a turnaround document used in an application as described in statement BI above. So I would have been getting those in the question above or in the responses above where persons were saying bubble sheets. So we think about government organization, we think about medical organizations as well. They betting and gaming uses it as well. You can think about banks as well. So there are a lot of organizations or applications basically that would utilize a turnaround document. Yes, Latisha, that's why I added it to it. I said that your response can work. A fillable vote document pre-filled with names and addresses, right? So you'd enter those information, enter it into the system, Andrew, and then basically it would add something to it. A check, a full check can be a turnaround document because you have the MICR basically that would read the information from the bottom of it and use it. So Shani, right? So I was saying a turnaround document is a document that is human readable, that you would add information to. It would be entered into the system, into a computer system, changing it to machine readable, and additional information added to it to complete the processing. A ballot box. Very good, Rajiv. All right. So that would have covered those two questions. All right. So let me write beside these and you can tell me the order. So this is number 2, this is number 3, and this is number 4. All right, go ahead in the comment section. That can work as well. 4312. Let's hear the others. All right. All right, let's see that. Correct order number 4. Then number 1. Then number 3. And then number 2. All right. So that is 4. No Javon, not 4-3. 4-1-3-2. No. Yes. Yes, Brooks. No Rajiv. I thought I saw somebody with the answer, you know. So that's 4-1-3-2. All right, John Brown. All right. So the first one is the web browser parse the URL to obtain the domain name. So that would be number 4. So number 4 is the first one. Then it goes to the number 1, where the web browser obtains the IP address of the hosting web server. Then it goes to number 3, the web browser sends a HTTP request to the web server, and the last one where the web browser interprets and displays the HTML content. I don't understand 2B. We're going on to 2B. B2. We'll reach there. Oh, if the image is not clear, you will have to change the quality. So what you do, you click on the setting, which is the cog. Oh, hold on. Right. And then you go to quality and change it to higher picture quality. And then you'll be able to see the image clearer. So let me know if you're seeing it clearly now. Kieran got it right. I'd have to go back and look to see his response. I know a few persons would have answered the question correctly before. Can I move on now? Are we seeing the image clearly? Melanie, you said that you were not seeing it clearly. All right. So the answer is on the screen in the order 4132. All right, moving on. So this one is looking now on Microsoft Word. So word processing. So we need to examine this document. So it's a table of content that is created in Microsoft Word, and we're seeing the different sections. So we're seeing content, we're seeing bird song, and we're seeing where hand practice and practice schedules, those are small and indented and away. Same thing with registration form and disclaimer. So because I'm using PDF, I can split screen. So it says identify the two heading styles used in the table of content. There's some on the channel. You can look into those. Heading 1 and 2. Thank you, Nia. Hi, SWAT facts. Subtitles and heading 1. Heading 1 and heading 2. Heading 1 and 2. All right, Karma, I'm seeing that. All right, so that would be it for part I, heading 1 and 2. It says now, state in the correct order the steps required to apply the heading style in the table of contents. So let me change gear a little bit. Which one of the question? All right, so here we now have Microsoft Word. So it's asking you basically to state the steps, right? So we said that the answer was heading 1, heading 2. So step 1, we want to type the heading. So we want to type the heading. So let's say it is heading 1. After we type the heading, we want to highlight the text. After we highlight the text, we're going to go to the home ribbon And in the style section, which is right here, you're going to select the heading that you wish to use. So if I'm using heading 1, or if I'm using heading 2, if I'm using title, subtitle, whatever it may be, don't be specific in this case, since as they didn't tell you which heading you're going to apply. So you would say, step 1, you're going to type the heading. Step 2, you're going to highlight the heading that you typed. Then you're going to select the home ribbon. In the style section, select the one that you so desire. Let me know if that is clear. All right, so heading 1, let me show you. So let's apply heading 1 to this. And then let me go and do heading 2. Same thing again, I'm going to highlight the text. And then I'm going to go and apply heading 2 to this. All right. So if I come above, and the next question basically answers this one. So let's go. If I'm supposed to add the table of content feature, which is the next step, so follow me now. So if I want to add a table of content to a page, the first thing, I'd go to the references ribbon, select table of content, and select the style that I want. So I'm going to go with this one, right? And here, if you notice, the two headings are there. So if we when we go back to the question, you'll realize heading 1 will always be closer to the margin, and heading 2 is indented away. Hope that answers your question. Yes, Karen, you can change the colors. You can change the color. You can basically edit it to suit what it is that you want. So if I want a particular font size, let's say for instance, so heading 1 under styles, if I go here and I right click on it, I can select modify, and I can change the font type, the font size, the color. I can make it bold, I can underline it, all of that. And once it is that I change it here, each time I use heading 1, it will use those features that I added to it. All right. All right. So the next question before I go back to the paper, it says state the correct order, the 4 steps required to create the table of content on the first page of the document. So let me go back to those steps. Let me delete this. Right. So we go to reference or references ribbon. That's step 1. References ribbon, select table of content, and we're going to select the format that we want. So after we select that, good. So we have added table of contents. So on our next page, I'm going to type my heading. So heading 1, heading 2. I'm going to type my headings. Then I'm going to highlight those, and I'm going to go to the home ribbon and apply the style feature. So this one was heading 1, and this one heading 2. So that now would be step 3. Step 4, you go back to the first page. So if you notice here, those headings are not showing. So you go back to the first page, click on table of contents, and then select update table. And that would be the 4 steps. Hope that was clear. All right. So we have now answered this one, which is 1C2, and we would have answered 1C3. We're going to move on to that question. All right, we're moving along. So it says, explain how you would go from table of contents directed to the page in the heading entitled registration form. So once it is that you use the table of content feature, right, sorry about that. So once it is that you're using the table of content feature, it is like the each heading each heading in the table of content is basically hyperlinked. So once it is that you hold the control and you double click on the heading, it is going to take you to the page. So the steps that you would take: one, you would place your cursor on the registration form title. That's step 1. Place your cursor on it. Then step 2, while holding the control button on your keyboard, you would double tap on the title. That's good. All right, we're moving right along. And we're now on to question 2. Hopefully the information presented for question 1 was okay. So let's go now. So here it is asking us to compare and contrast the intranet and the internet. So let's go. So we want differences between the two. So we know that they're both networks. That's a similarity. They're both a type of network. Who can tell me? All right, Isaac, it's already hyperlinked, So I wouldn't want you to write that you are going to hyperlink it because it's already done. Once it is that you are using the table of content feature, it is already hyperlinked. But for you to activate that hyperlink, the control button on your keyboard must be activated. So you have to hold down control while your mouse is pointed on it and then double click. All right. So let me go back up because I'm seeing some answer. All right, Renisa. Renisa. I'm going to go with Renisa. All right, so Renisa said intranet is private, internet is public. Very good. All right, same response for Chrissy, same response for Brittany, same response basically for Quincy. You have to change the quality of your output. So on the video itself, click on the cog and then change the quality and you'll be able to see it better. Intranet is more secured and internet is less. All right. Very good. Again. So our intranet is more secured because the organization that is using it is going to ensure that outside persons don't have access to the network. But for the internet, because it is open and it is providing information for everybody, then it is not as secure. Intranet is mainly used by businesses while all types of people use the internet. All right. So the content, Sham, I would fix this one. The content provided on the intranet would be basically about the organization. Information is limited. It's limited to the organization and the service or product that they have. But the internet now would provide a vast amount of information on almost any and everything. All right, we did cover public. Intranet has unlimited users. And Leah, please ensure that when you're comparing, then you do both. So you tell me about one and you tell me about the other one. Chrissy, intranet has rules in place. Internet has no rules in place in terms of who accesses it. I'll go with that, Chrissy. Intranet is available to specific persons within an organization. Dom. Highly protected, right? We spoke about the protection already. All right. Intranet is local and global. All right. Very good answers, guys. Cost be a difference? Yes. You could say that the intranet is going to be more expensive, the intranet, for you to set up, opposed to the internet. You only need an ISP provider and a device, and you're able to access. But you'd have to explain it some more. No man, the internet has firewall. Well, you are supposed to have a firewall or the network itself. So we've looked on the fact that the intranet is a private network while the internet is a public network. Next one is the connection. So the intranet is connected through LAN or WAN, while it is that the internet is a combination of networks linked together. Then we have the information that is on them. So we did say that the intranet is going to provide information internally to a specific set of persons, while it is that everyone now would have access to the information on the internet and it provides a wide variety. Next one, limited access. So the intranet has limited access and is more secure. And we did say that the internet has is not as secure and everyone can access it. So we did get some very good answers. All right, love that, Brittany. All right, moving on. So we're looking now on information processing. On a data capture form, a user enters passport number, and age. Identify one appropriate type of validation check, which can be used for each entry, giving a reason. So we're looking on types of validation check. So for passport number, what could we use? Format or length check, that could work. Karma, that's very good. Why? Consistency, not so much for the passport. Length check, range check. All right, range check can work. Depends on how you explain it. One, right. So length check, let's say no, the passport number must be of a specific, must have X amount of characters. So therefore, so there's a passport number and pass a certain amount. All right, very good. Right, Brittany. Very good. So you're going to use length check to just to ensure that the person doesn't enter too much or too little. Data type now, depending, so if it is supposed to be just numbers, you don't have persons entering a combination, or if you are accepting letters and numbers, then you would set it to like a text to ensure that persons enter the right thing. So data type could work as well. Presence check could work as well, Karen, because you don't want persons to leave it blank because it's important to the application process. All right, so let's look on age. Well, the ones that we would have the ones that we spoke about, they can work for both. So the except for length, I wouldn't use length for age. Range could work, data type could work, presence could work for age as well. So that which you would have listed before can work. No, data type means that you're tying it to a specific type of input. So if you want number, then the person can't enter words. So let's say I wanted to enter your age. I don't want it to type in the word 18. All right. Or if you're doing it because passport, you can get it from age 0. As I said, once it is that you explain the point, then it should work. If there's a limit for the age for a passport, then the range can work. Otherwise, no. For age. All right, let's move on. Complete the table. Complete the following table with the missing description and term relating to computer misuse. The first one, what is that one? It says acquiring sensitive information for malicious reasons by deceiving the user through the content of an email. Who's going to be the first person to get this one? All right, Carmel. Out with it. So this one is phishing. Yes, phishing is correct, guys. Very good. Brittany, Chrissy, Lan. All right, very good. Phishing. All right. What would be your description? So the key term in this one, how we know it's phishing, is email. Because there can be other malicious attacks. So we are deceiving persons using email. That would be phishing, right? Farming is as a result now when it is that you click on these links. Let's say, for instance, you get an email saying that somebody tried to access your email and they want to know if it was you. You said no, it was not you. Then you're asked to change your password just to ensure that this doesn't happen again. Then you enter your old password, enter your new password, but it is not necessarily changed or it's not changed. You just gave the persons your password for them to go and change. So that now would be the farming aspect. All right, so phishing, correct, very good, guys. What would be the description now for hacking? Unauthorized. Key term there. Key term right there. Unauthorized access. So I see Karma with it. Right. Chrissy Williams. Cox. Tina. Very good. Good. Stealing someone's information, Letitia, can fall into many different categories. It can be industrial espionage as well. So I'd want you to add the unauthorized access. Hmm. Well, stealing is unauthorized access, so it could work, but I don't see that you would get that. Well, it's one mark, so yeah. All right, very good, guys. We're well on our road to grade one. So even though we're revising this paper, please note that we may find some areas where it's just as applicable for this paper or for the next one. All right, so for this one, it's a longer question. Now, CXC tried something with this with the one-dimensional and the two-dimensional pivot table. It was basically as a means to throw us off, right? So I am going to ask if it is possible for you guys just to split screen, no, sorry, screenshot, so that we can, I can bring it into Microsoft Excel and show you how it is that we will do the steps for this one. So let me scroll down some more. Zoom out. All right, so this one is a spreadsheet question. Here we have a spreadsheet. It has two sheets in there. We have quarter one sales. Then we have the pivot table. And here we have the dialog box for the pivot table. Now, because it is as I'm using PDF, I don't have the split screen option where it is that I can show the question and the the questions and basically the table at the same time. That's very good, Cox. So I want you to screenshot it if possible so that we can always reference it. Let me see how we can work it now. So for the question here, it says describe the change you would make to the pivot table fields the dialog box in figure 3 to show a summary of the total amount sold by each region. So this one is very simple. So for this, all we would have to do is to remove salesperson from rows and would click on this arrow and change it to region. Values would remain the same. Let me know if that was clear. Well, it's already on some karma, so you would need to change that. The only thing that you're changing is the row value. So guys, let me show you. Let me show you what we would have done. All right, so here I have the spreadsheet, right? Just as in the question itself. So what they did is that once you're in this sheet, so once you're in the sheet and you want to add a pivot table, you'd go to insert. You go to insert, you'd select pivot table, and you would select from table range. That is if you want to create or add a pivot table. It will highlight the entire table and then you select new sheet, select OK. So here, what it has is salespersons under rows and then amount. So this is what is there. This is what is currently in the pivot table dialog box. And it is asking that we not show the salesperson, but instead show the regions. So I was saying now, instead of having salesperson at rows, so we're going to remove this one, and then we're going to add region instead. So now we're seeing east, south, west, and we're seeing the total based on each region. So all you'd have to do is to replace on the rows, replace salesperson with region. Right. That is clear, everyone? That's clear? All right. All right. So the next part of this question says, hi, Miss Cooper, Mrs. Cooper. Thanks for joining. Guys, in your chat, you're seeing Anisha Barton Cooper for your physics exam. I want you to go over to her channel. She'll provide all the help you need for physics. Right, Mrs. Cooper? And BMed as well, yes. How could I forget? She changed the row. All right, she's added her. Let me add it on the screen. So you can go over to her page for physics BMed. Or the person's doing those exams. All right, Brianna had a question. You don't get that one? Let me go back, Brianna. All right, so this is what was there before, right? So what they did in the question, they screenshot this part on the right. And the question is what you would do to show the summary of the total amount sold by each region instead of salesperson. So let's go back over to sheet one. So for this sheet, we're seeing the salesperson, we're seeing the region that they're from, we're seeing the order amount, and we're seeing the month that they would have placed those orders. So the question is saying not to show me in total what Carol Albert made or John Rampasad, but instead show me how much the total order amount for east, west, south. Good? So because this is what is displayed in the image, what we've done is to say that we would change the row description, would change it from salesperson to region so that it would show the total amount made by each region. So East made 2,150, South 4,970, and West that amount. No, Miguel, not go so. But with that. No, we not depend that. Pass, we shall pass. Oh, I love this. Paper one will be easy. All right, are we clear with that part? All right, very good, Brian. So the next part of the question now, it says that a 2D pivot table showing, so we describe how it is that we would change a 2D pivot table showing a summary with a column for each salesperson monthly sales for January, February, and March, and the total. All right, Ali, you have to follow me back again now. Pivot tables are used in Microsoft Excel to summarize data that you have in a sheet. Good. So here it is. Though the sheet is small, we have sheet with thousands of data in there. Alia. We have thousands of data in there. And we need to summarize. So we can go through and then locate all the E's and add up. So we use pivot table basically to summarize that. Good. Now the question showed us where it is that we have a pivot table that was showing the summary for the salesperson. So this is the question. This is the image that they showed you. So they showed you this on the left and they showed you this on the right. So the first part of the question Alia is asking, how would you go about to change it, the pivot table, to show the region and the amount made by each region instead of by salesperson? That's the question. So the steps now, or what you would do, is instead of having salesperson under the rows heading, you would change it to region. And when you change it to region, so here on the rows, we're seeing region, values would remain the same. So what it would do it would take the data that we have in sheet 1 and summarize that data for us. So it would add up all the order amount for east, all the order amount for south, and all the order amount for west. Macintosh, tell me how that is for you know. Alio? All right, so okay. All right, kinda. All right, better than none at all. All right, so the next part of the question says no, right? That what we want a pivot table to show the salesperson, the month, and the total that they made for each month. Good? So let us clear the pivot table. So what we're going to do now is that the answer to the question would be salesperson would be placed under rows, month would be placed under column, right? And order amount would be under values. So what we're seeing now here are the different persons and the amount of orders or the total value for the orders made for each month. All right, very good, Karma. I'm going to go through all of this paper now, just showing, instead of giving you the answer for the questions, I'm showing you the steps, Latisha. So we'll be doing the entire paper. We're at question 2. Hope you'll be able to follow. As I was asking in terms of the split screen part. So let me show you the question now, guys. Since I've showed you the procedure, let me show you the question. As this channel grows, we'll have multiple screens. Right. So this was the first part, guys. So this was the question. So we said that for I, it says describe the change you would make to the pivot table dialog box in figure 3, this one, to show the summary of the total amount sold by each region. So we would delete salesperson from under rows, that's 1. And 2, we would drag or select region under the rows section, under the rows heading. And that was it for that one. I showed you that part. This part now is the part that I showed last. So it says, describe the change you would make to the pivot table dialog box in figure 3 to create the following. So you want a two-dimensional pivot table, 2D pivot table, showing a summary with a column for each salesperson, right? Sales, January, February, March, and the salesperson total amount. So what we said is that in the pivot table fields, we'd have months under columns, salespersons under rows, and we'd have values remaining under value being sum of order amount. Oh, no, Letitia, I have 2020, I have January 2022, I have June 2022, I have 2021, and I have 2020 on the channel. Shay, I'm going to ask that you change the quality just as Latisha was saying. Just click on the cog and change the quality. Oh, That means that you did very well, Carmen. All right, moving on. So it says now write a formula in cell C17 of the worksheet quarter sales to calculate the total amount, the total of all orders in C. So let us switch again. A lot of back and forth. I apologize for that one. I just want you guys to get it. All right, so let's go back here. So it's saying here in C17, we want to find the total for this column. What formula would we enter in C17? That's very good, Carmel. I'm from Jamaica. And it's a weird. Where in terms of what, Brianna? Where are you from? We're in Jamaica or alright. Incomplete, Alia. Give me the complete function, not the name of the function. Alright. Okay. Hi my sister. We need the complete thing here, not half. Oh, I'm in Saint Elizabeth. Alright, 6. That's correct as well. No, hold on. No, Renisa. Yours is incorrect. So the one I have on the screen now is incorrect. This one, so 6 is actually correct. You would get an error message, Renisa, because you're using labels or text in your calculation. Sham, that has been at sorrows and prayers. That has been a thing for real as it relates to CSEC. They've changed up a lot because one time when it is that they use formula, they would expect the long version. But I'm not seeing that anymore in terms of marking. All right, so the answer is on the screen. Let's put it in the spreadsheet. So it would be equal sign. Always start your formula or function with equal sign. Sum, open bracket, that's the name of our function. The starting cell, which is cell C2, colon, the last cell, which is cell C16, close bracket, and enter. Yes, I do. Okay, Javon. St. Elizabeth is one of the best parishes, really and truly. All right, Ali, I see that. All right. So, next part of the question says, how do we link it? So, I want this value that I have right here to show in this sheet. Let me change it back to the original one, guys. So, let me remove this. All right, this is the original thing. So, the question says, link the 1D pivot table in figure 2 in the worksheet quarter sales in figure 1 by writing a formula in cell C1. So this is cell C. Let me delete it so we get cell C1 just as a question. So in cell C1, we should write a formula that will copy this one, right? So all we're going to do is have this cell be equal to this cell. So if we were supposed to write the formula itself, it would be equal sign first, the name of the sheet. In this case, I did not name my sheet, so it's going to be sheet 1, sheet 1. I'll put an exclamation mark at the end. So exclamation mark and then the cell address in that. So it would be C17. So if you notice now, the same value that is here, 10,860, is now in this cell. And that is what you would type. All right, very good. No, it wouldn't be sheet 1, Gomez, because my sheet is different. So you'd have to use based on what the question has. Thank you, Brianna. That means so much to me. That means a lot. So we're seeing the question, the answer without the question mark. So let me change it from Renisa to Karma, just because Renisa has the question mark at the end and I don't want to get persons confused. So it would be equal sign quarter 1 sales exclamation mark C17. All right. So the next part of the question says, in this sheet, write a formula in cell C2 to be replicated through to C7 to calculate what percentage of total order amount in cell C1 is the salesperson order amount. So basically we want to know the percentage and it tells you how you calculate it. So it says percentage is calculated by salesperson order amount divided by total order amount multiplied by 100. Anybody want to write the formula? So in this cell right here, I need to calculate what percentage is this of this. What percentage is 2,250 of the 10,860? Um, Outside of when I posted full movie, no. Karma. Very good, Karma. Anybody else? Have to. Why did you make it absolute, Karma? Why do we use absolute cell addressing? All right. I see you, O'Brien Grant. Very good. I see you, Flinty, as well. All right. Which part are you lost, Latisha? To lock the cells. All right. Very good. Latisha, tell me where you're lost. All right. Very good, Nemard. Latisha, tell me where it is that you're lost so I can catch you back up. So the formula don't change earlier, yes. And the values would be incorrect. Very good, Brittany. All right, let me show you. I really wish this had the split screen where I could be showing both. Which are binary is no longer part of the syllabus. All right, so this is the one that we did before. So we had equal. This was the sum one. So then it was equal sum open bracket C2 colon C16 close bracket. All right, that was that one. So this is the one that we're at now. It says link the pivot table. No, we did this one. Sorry. So this one was equal quarter one sales exclamation C70. So we did those two, and we're now at this one. So it says now that we need to calculate the percentage. So of the total order amount, what percentage each person would have contributed, or what percentage is their order amount. Binary easy, man. You see that, Latisha? So what we're saying now, Latisha, is that for this question here, that the answer would be equal the cell. So it would be B2 based on what's on the screen, B2 divided by C1. But when we copy down the formula, because it says replicated to C7, we don't want the values to change. And which value we don't want to change is the value that is in C1, which is the total amount that we have. So even though B2 will change to B3 and then B4 and then B5, right? The amount that we're dividing it by, when we copy it down, we don't want it to change. So we're going to make that absolute. How do we make a cell absolute, which is locking the cell in essence? We put a dollar sign before the column reference, and we put a dollar sign before the row reference, right? And then now we multiply this by 100 based on the formula that's here. Latisha, hopefully that answers your question. All right, we're moving on. And we're now at question 3. And we only have one more question left after this one. All right, very good. Happy for that, Latisha. All right, let's see now for this one. What? So this now is a database question. And we're filling in the blanks. So we have the terms, tables, forms, queries, and reports, and we're supposed to use them in the statements. So the first statement says, a relational database stores data in a number of related files, more commonly referred to as, what's the answer? So no 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 no. Who is going to give me the answer first? Tables. All right. Very good. I have tables as well. All right. Very good, guys. All right. Let me try and zoom in. All right. So the next part says dash are used to ask. And from you see the word ask, it's supposed to just pop out in terms of the answer. Ask detailed questions of the database when searching for records that satisfy particular conditions. Why tables full movie? All right. So because it says really, hold on. Let me go back. Let me go back. Because it says related fields, relate a number of related files. A relational database stores data in a number of related files, right? So each subsection in your database, which is a file, would be either a table, a query, but it's more organized. And it shows the relationship between each. And that is how you get like a tuple or a record. No for forms, Chang. From you see the word, going to go with Brittany for this one. The others are correct as well. So it is query. The key word in this one is the word ask. So a query is a question that you ask of a database and you're giving it specific instructions in terms of the criteria. So the second one would be query. Very good, Malcolm. Queries. All right, third one. The third one says dash display fields extracted from dash in a particular order. Tables and report. All right, tables display fields extracted from reports. No, that would be wrong. Hold on, reports display fields extracted from tables in a particular order. That can work. Reports extract display fields extracted from tables in a particular order. That can work. I don't think this one is a one answer thing though. Let me see who have that. Reports. No, I saw somebody with reports and table. No, I wouldn't say that one, Brianna, for queries and tables. Let me see. Queries display fields extracted from tables in a particular order. That don't sound wrong at all, Brianna. Because that can be the consensus as well. As I said, for this one, I don't believe that it is a one answer. It is like it is because it can be forms, display fields extracted from tables as well, right? That can work. Forms, display fields extracted from tables in a particular order. It can also be reports, display fields extracted from tables or extracted from queries in a particular order. That can work. It can also be, what's the next one? Oh, somebody said queries. And queries can work as well. So for number three, I don't believe that, right? I don't believe that it is a one-off thing. Like it's the response is rigid. Because all that we've examined would have been correct. All right, what about number 4? I see tables for Richard. No. Tables use a graphical representation to allow users to enter, modify, delete, view records in a database. Oh my. I'm going to go with forms for this one. I'm going to go with forms for this one. Yes, Chelsea. All right, very good. Forms came out for that one. Good, good. All right, moving right along. So it says figure 4 and 5. Let me zoom out for this one, guys, so we can see everything. So figure 4 and 5 are two database tables named customers and orders respectively. Figure 6 in the dialog box showing the relationship between customers and order table. So these are our two. Zooming out a little bit. So we have our customer table, we have the orders table, and we have the relationship window right here. So what we're seeing in the relationship table, we're seeing ID and we're seeing customer ID. So in the customers table, we're linking ID with orders, with customer ID in the orders table. Something about this question is incorrect, but don't, when you go into the exam, focus on the question that is being asked, right? Because you can get caught up in terms of that which is wrong with the question and how it is structured while it is that you do answer the question. So I'd say stick with answering the question that is at hand. So let's move on to the question itself. So we're supposed to provide a description for the following: ID in the order table, customer ID in the customers table, and what is enforced referential integrity. All right, what would be our description for ID? What would be the purpose of it? Primary key for what, Todd? That's good, but it's incomplete. Same thing for Joshua, same thing for 6, it's incomplete. It's a primary key for identify the customers. Let me look back on there. I have the paper here. All right, so ID identifies the customer here. So it's that unique identifier which is used to identify each customer. ID is a primary key used to identify customers. I can go with this one as well. Primary key because all customers require to have a different ID number. Right. Unique. Brittany. Very good. All right. So what would be the description now for customer ID? Because it asks us to describe both. In the order table, though, there's ID. And in the orders table, I would say ID is the unique identifier for the order that is in the orders table, while customer ID would be the unique identifier for the customer. Yes. Yes, Ramnarine. Right. Very good foreign key. So the ID would be the primary key in one table, custom ID, foreign key in the other one. Right. But it uniquely identifies what? Tina, you have to change the quality of your of the video. So click on the cog and do that. Let me zoom in back. I zoomed out because I wanted you guys to see the question. So I can zoom in. Alright, so guys, let's go now. The ID in the order table is a unique identifier, which is your primary key, used to identify each order. The customer ID is the foreign key in the order table, which is used to uniquely identify customers. That's clear? Thank you. Okay, Ferguson. That's good. Are we clear with that explanation, guys? All right. All right, good. All right, what is enforced referential integrity? That's what we're doing now. The enforced referential integrity is that feature of the database which ensures that the information in one table matches the information in a next table. So where we can see some discrepancies in terms of the data that is presented. So let's say in one table you're seeing where you have a customer ID would be 12, but in the customer table you're not seeing any customer with that particular ID. So then it will tell you that it cannot enforce referential integrity because the data does not match. One in a IT straight 6. All right, Richard, no problem. All right, this one, this one. So for instance, now, as I was saying, we're seeing customer ID 1, 2, 13, 15, 14, and 12. But if I go in the customer table, I'm not seeing those IDs. So if you're trying to enforce referential integrity, it would tell you that it can't because it doesn't match the data. So the referential integrity is that feature of the database which ensures that the data presented in one table matches the data that is presented in a next table. And you can see the correlation, and that is how you get a one-to-one. So a one-to-one relationship would now mean that the data in one table will match only one data in a next table. A one-to-many would mean now that one data in one table would match many data in a next table. So let's say, for instance, this one. I can have one customer, which is Whitney, but Whitney is making multiple orders. So her ID number would appear multiple times, which would make it a one-to-many relationship. Math have to be a pass. Paper one and SBA, unless the man them never do nothing in them SBA. Combs brushes, click on the cog, which is the settings on the video itself. And then you're going to see quality and you change it. So referential integrity is going to ensure that the data matches in the tables used in the relationship. I think that's the shortest I can go. Oh my. I like what's that. Listen, CXE already print the multiple choice paper and we know multiple choice do. Them not change it. Them not changing and printing. But it's really a sad situation though, because there are persons who would have used their time to prepare for the exam and then to have this happen. All right. This question now says, using the following query design window, create a query to extract the fields ID, first name, last name, phone number, city from the customers table for all customers from the city of Carnage and whose phone numbers are greater than the phone number listed. So this one is a very tricky one and I'll show you why. So persons would put in the criteria and leave it, right? And think that is it. So it's 4 marks. The first thing you want to do is that you want to check the boxes. So you'd have to tick this. So it says we must show ID. It says we must show first name and last name. It should show phone number, and it should show city. So you want to tick those boxes. That's first. So those would appear in your query. Then now the next step. All right. So then now the next step would be to type the criteria. So it says now city should be Carenage. I will put those in quotation. Carenage. And please remember that it is case sensitive. So if you see it with uppercase, you type it with uppercase. If you see it with lowercase, you type it with lowercase. Now, once it is that you type it like this, the word like will appear in it, but you don't necessarily need to type it in here. Good? So once you type this, fine. Then on the phone number now, you would put greater than, the greater than sign, and the telephone number, which is 868 550 123. And that would be it for the question or the answer presented here. All right, Karma, seeing that. Yes, sorry. But criteria and or funny enough, they work as the same thing. It's like if you have two things, but yes, it's supposed to be under criteria. Thank you. Let me put it here. Alright, that's that one. And then this one should be greater than. And remember that your right hand is a greater than sign, just in case you're going to exam and you don't remember. Greater than 868-500-00. And that's it for this question. Easy 4 marks, guys. Yeah. Karanaj. Karanaj. Thank you, Karen. All right, let us finish up quickly and then you get some rest and then you can start back with your studying in the morning. So let's go. Then now it says state the IDs of the record extracted. So we want to know what would meet this criteria. So let's check. Here's our table. So we said that we're looking for the coronage. Coronet. Yes, sorry. Forget say just give me the correct pronunciation. Right. So we have 3 here, right? How many would meet the criteria? How many and what's the ID number? 7 and 10. 7 and 10. That's correct. Twiz. No, sorry. Twiz got it for, well, Twiz is the first one I saw, and then I'm seeing Joshua. All right, good. 7 and 10 would be the answer to that one. All right. I left off a 0. I'm going to go back. Let's see. No, the question gave me 3 zeros. Oh, sorry. You were indeed right. So this should be 3 zeros. All right. So we said for this one, which is D, the answer would be ID 7 and ID 10. All right, so this one now, a very tricky but easy question. How do we label these lines now? So the question says that we're to label this line and this line right here. So let's start right here. The arrow going down to stop. What would we put on that one? True or false? Yes or no? No, Sylvia, 6 would not be in it because the telephone number would not be within the range. Uh-oh, Richard. No, it's not a symbol. Andrew. Remember that this is a repeat until, you know. The repeat until kind of funny still. So the repeat until loop, it is going to loop once before it checks for the condition. But it is only going to do false if the condition becomes true. That is when it stops. So right here, going to stop, I'd have yes or true. And then right here, hold on. I think this thing start bugging because I don't know what's happening. I'm not seeing the me a minute. All right. So this one would be true, and at this window, which I'm unable to see at this time, Right here, we would put false. Right. So coming down to stop would be true. Condition going up to repeat the task, that would be false. All right. Let's try this again. I need this part now. All right. We have no. So this would be false, guys. We're going to see the connection between it when it is that we go down to the next question. Yeah, there are some aspects of it really and truly that's kind of tedious. All right, moving on. All right, so here now it asks us to create a flow chart for using while do. Uh, see, I'm not sure about the shapes in this one. Let me see if I can get some shapes. All right, hold on. Give me a minute. I'm going to change screen, guys, so that we can draw the flow chart for this one. Why did I block? Hold on. 1 minute, guys. I'm trying to get somebody out of this, and I think I blocked the wrong person. Oh, well, you don't necessarily need to show the star part. All right, let me see. I should have word. All right. Let me delete these. All right, so it says now where to show just the section that would deal with the do while or while do, sorry. So let me go to shapes. So we know that for if, while, for, repeat until, any of those are used. The shape for that is a diamond. All right. Now, because we don't know what's above, I just going to add a line going up. Right. So from this, we're supposed to have one showing a loop. So let me go from here. My lines may not be as straight. I'm really trying to make it straight, but it is not working with me. All right. That is it. That is it right now. All right. I'll put an oval for stop right here. All right. So now we need to label the lines. On this side, what would we have? Let me add stop to this. So this would be stop. This would be your do while or while do. Sorry. While do. Where would we put true? Where would we put false? We mark off a curve, so we won't know what exactly. No, man, we don't need to use. Oh, that was a specific question that Ryden is answering. What is it we're answering now? All right, so right here it would be true. So that one. Let me get a text box. So it would be opposite now. So this would be true, and this one would be false. A little bit chaotic, guys, in terms of what you're seeing on the screen. My apologies for that. Right. But this would have been the question, that would have been the answer for your 3 marks. No, all right. You see, because both are different types of um loops, it must be the opposite from the repeat until. So if you notice where we had the true in the repeat until was going to stop, and that is what we have the false here. And the next question on the paper basically explains why it is that we do this part. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about now. It's because we don't know how CXC going to pose them question. Like, you have to be very versatile. All right, this one, guys. So we have two types of loops. We have bounded iteration and we have unbounded iteration. Bounded iteration means that we know how many times it's going to loop. The instructions should be looped. Unbounded, we don't know, but we know what would cause the instruction or the program to stop. Now, for unbounded iteration, you have two types, right? You have a pre-test loop and you have a post-test loop. Your while is a pre-test loop, which means that it's going to test the condition before the instructions are executed. Your repeat until is a post-test loop based on where the criteria is. So for the while it is at the top, but for the repeat until it's at the bottom. So at least one set of instructions will be executed before the program checks the condition. So let's go through. It says here, so we're going to write to the side here, start or end. Is the condition tested at the start or at the end of the loop? Which one is tested at the start? All right, 1 minute, let me repeat for 6. So we have two types of loops. We have bounded iteration and unbounded iteration. Bounded means we know how many times the algorithm or program is going to loop. Unbounded, we don't know how many times it's going to loop, but we know what should cause the program or algorithm to stop. I'm repeating for 6. Right. And I'm saying now for unbounded iteration, you have two types. You have a pre-test loop and you have a post-test loop. So pre-test means that you check the condition before the instructions are executed, and post-test means that you execute and then check the condition after. All right. So I'm seeing now while. All right, good. So while is going to check at the start and repeat until is going to check at the end. Very good. All right, next one. Does the loop execute as long as the condition is true or false? Which one would go for true and which one would be false? And we just did the flow chart, so that is supposed to answer this. No, Joshua. Mm-mm. While can't be true. While must be false. Good karma. While is false and repeat until it's true. While false, repeat true. All right. Third one, no. Statements in the loop must be executed. Yes or no? Which one is yes? Which one is no? Can always watch it back. While is no and repeat is yes. All right. All right. Loop is my biggest enemy. Ooh. And we're going up to 10, 11 o'clock. No. I tell you some videos that are there. But don't sweat it, remember, it's not like you must write the entire thing to get the marks. Alright, what's number 4 now, guys? Number of times to repeat the loop is known. Yes, Natisha. Both is no for the last one. Repeat until can be yes as well, though. Karma. So both can be no. While is definitely a no. But depending on how you structure the condition for the repeat until, it can be a yes and it can be a no. I like that. So both Latisha and Brittany, your responses could work here. So it can be both being no or it can be no yes. All right. Let's move on to the last part of question 3, and then we'll do question 4. It says state the main requirement for the use of the for loop. And this one is very basic. For the 1 mark, what is it you must know when it is that you're going to write a for loop? The number of repetitions. All right, very good, Andrew. No, hold on, not Andrew, Joshua. Oh, I'm getting this thing so fast. No, man, not start and end. For the for loop, you must know so that you know which one of the loops you're writing. So you must know how many times the instructions should be repeated. Right, Joshua? No, an algorithm in general must have a start and an end, but it's not the main requirement for a for loop. count a no. How many times? For the for loop, you must know how many times it's going to loop. So it's a accept 10 input. Calculate the average of 10 students. You know how many times it's going to loop. All right, question four. Question four is short. It has A, B, C. No, it has A, B, C, D, E. All right, so it says here that we need to do an IPO chart. Read the question. An algorithm is needed to read the age of each student until it reads an age of 999. What type of loop would we use for this one? Based on the condition, what type of loop? While do. Can't be a for loop. It must be a while loop. A for loop, we don't know which user will enter 999, so it can't be a for loop. We don't know how many times it's going to loop. Repeat until it can work as well. All right. What did it ask the user to enter? What did it ask the user to enter? Age. All right. So age is going to go under input. We're not going to enter number of students, just age. This thing gone again. I don't even know what this to be. All right, guys. So under input, it should be age. I can't write it because I think my computer is tired as well. So under input, you would have age. But this is visual. I really would want you guys to see this. So you can see it for yourself. So under input, you would put age. Under processing, you must have read whatever you have under input. So then you would have read age. All right. It's here. I'm using it. All right. So we'd have read age. All right. Good. Then now it says that we are supposed to calculate the average age. So we're going to have calculate average age. But when we look at output here, it says that we should also output the number of students, which means that that is something that we must calculate. So we're going to have calculate number of students. Now, everything that is executed is a process. So even though we have one section for input and we have one section for output, those are also included in processing. So we will have as well output, because that's a process to be executed. So we need to output average age, and we also need to output number of students. Under output now, we would write back the same thing, average age. Every time it is that I spell average age, and we'll output number of students. And that would be your IPO chart. Oh, it's oh, you're an hour ahead. Yeah. All right. I want you guys to get some rest. So that's that. That is your IPO chart. So here now it's showing the algorithm. Algorithm was written for you. Algorithm was written for you. I'm giving you some time just to look at the algorithm. All right. So the next part of the question says that we're supposed to trace it. We have to go a little back and forth. So notice now, let us go through. We have where it is that we initialize the variables count, age, average, and total. We ask the user to enter age, then we increase total, increase count. All right, so let me, oh Lord, this thing come off again. So the user would have entered 3 different ages before 999 was entered. So I want you to remember this part, guys. Total equal total plus count. Count equal count plus 1. Then we ask the user to enter next value. Let's go down to the trace table. So when it is that the user entered 18, right? The next line said count equal count total plus count. There was no value in count as yet. So it would be 0 plus 0, and we got back 0 right here. The next line said count equal count plus 1. Count was 0, and we're adding 1 to it, so count would now change to 1. Let me see if I can get it back. All right. So count would be equal to 1. Hope you're following. Average, the calculation of average is outside the loop, so it's not going to change here. The next line now, when the user entered 26, total is equal to total plus count. Total is equal to 0, count is equal to 1. So it means now that total is equal to 1. Then the value of count was count equal count plus 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2, and that is how they got 2 right here. Average again is outside of the loop, so therefore it would remain at 0. Continuing, the user entered 39, then total is going to be equal to total plus count. 2 plus 1 is now going to be equal to 3. And then count is going to be equal to count plus 1. So that now is going to be equal to 3 as well. There's an error with this question. As I said, when you're going to the exam, please do not focus on the errors here. Total is 1. Total is 1. Carmen 0, 3, 3. All right, very good. Then now we need to calculate. So based on the values that they have here, where total equal 2 and count equal 3, average would be equal to what? So we divide based on the question. Then let's look. So it says average equal total divided by count. So if it is that we take total 2 divided by 3, we're going to get 0.67. And that would be the answer there. So the question now, next line says write the 2 lines of output. Let's go back to the question or the algorithm. So here it has number of students equal count and average number of students equal average. So we just write back those with the values. So right here, what the user will see is number of students 3. Then it would have average, hold on, average age of students 0.67, and that would be the output. It says total divided by count, but later on you'll see that there's an error. No, that's not the error, Karen. All right. So here now, guys, it says that we're to identify the error in the algorithm and we're supposed to correct it. Let's go back to the algorithm. So if I'm calculating total age, total can be equal to total plus count. Instead of having count right here, it should be age. So each time the user enter the age, you add it up and then you divide it by count later on. So this line would have been the error. Set total equal total plus count. And let us fix that. So the error here is total equal total plus count. And the correction would be total equal total plus age. Right, Javon? It was a lot of errors. Yes, 6. It's there to throw you off. Is it because the line is not numbered? You could count it and put the line and it would be fine. Because in even with coding, like blank spaces would be considered as a line as well. But yeah. All right. Next part now. It says identify 2 impacts of ICT on the work patterns of employees in the health sector. Now, we know that ICT is basically incorporating technology into any aspect of life to make the whole work process efficient. So, the impact it would have, it improves communication. So let's say, for instance, you're sending off lab test to Kingston. You would not have to necessarily go back to Kingston to get the results. Results can be emailed, and you get it basically same time. So it improves communication. That's one. It also improves, it will improve the sector itself in terms of that which it is able to offer. So when you look on devices that are used, persons can do scans that will be clearer in terms of showing whatever it is that they're trying to detect or what it is that they're trying to create an image of. So it helps with improving the services offered so that persons necessarily don't travel overseas as well. So it improves communication, it improves the offering. It's a lot no brainer for real. All right. So that's that for C. Two more questions. This is the last page, and then we're finished. So for D says one negative impact and one positive impact of including ICT in a particular area, profession, skilled or unskilled. So the positive is that again it can improve communication, productivity, efficiency, whichever one you'd want to write. The negative impact is the loss of job and cost that it will incur to set it up in the short in the long run. All right. And the last question, you guys have been really a gem. I really don't like file organization, guys. Let me just tell you all from now. I really don't like this topic. So I have for these, A says meter reading records submitted by customer monthly. I have sequential for that one. And the reason is because sequential access or storage method basically stores it in a particular order. And once it is that you are storing data as they are captured, the sequential for me would be best. Sequence serial could work. It depends on how you experience it, explain it as well. Is S no bother with that? Positive thoughts. Put it out there into the universe that you're going to pass and you're going to get a grade 1. All right, for the second one says personal data of customers in a master file that's index sequential. You want to be able to access the data quickly. So I have index sequential for that one. See, come go on your bed. Come in know, I don't know what that. Give me 40% is a grade 1. See now, see I have direct access. Username and password, you want to access it quickly. So therefore you want to have it in a direct spot that is allocated for that. So I have direct access for C. So I have serial, index sequential, and direct access. Listen, then me we not focus on you on the part today. You hear? You're going to exam sequential, sequence, direct. Sequential, sequential, sequence. Sequential and sequence. Where do we get that from, Javon? All right. So for this one, I was saying I have sequential. For this one, I have indexed, sequential. And for this one, I have direct access. Index sequential is taking data that is stored in a sequential format, right? So we know that as it relates to sequential, you'll have to go through all the data or a specific amount of data to reach where you want. So let's say, for instance, you have 150 records on a particular drive, a cassette tape. If you want to get to number 50, you have to first go through the first 49. So that would be sequential. Index sequential stores the data in the same way, but instead of you going through all the data, you're able to go directly to that which you want. It is not as fast as direct access, but it is not as slow as sequential. As I said as well, for sequential, it can be serial. These are file organization and access. All right, guys, I'm going to allow you to go get some rest. I wish you all the best on your exams tomorrow. Just pace yourself, ensure that you use the time, pace yourself, answer the questions. Emmanuel, all multiple choice question I go come back. Paper one is not really an essay. I doubt it should be an essay for anybody. No full movie, you got to rest. If you don't, you can go in the exam and blank out. So get some rest. Better for you to rest and then wake up back and then do some studying. If you feel tired, yeah. I have some videos on pseudocode. You can watch that tomorrow anyway. Just remember, once you get a pseudocode question, as I said, it's like a math question. They're not just marking for the answer at the end. So you look on what it is that you should ask the user for, right? What should the user input? And you prompt the user for those. So you have your write, you have your display, you have your output. So you ask the user, enter name, enter grade, whatever it may be. Just look on those parts. Break up the question into input, processing, and output. What should the user enter? What calculation should be done? What should be outputted? And then now, if you see anything on output that is not on calculation, then you include it in your calculations. Like this year, I'm seeing where it is that they included a lot of trace table and IPO chart instead of you for the January paper instead of you writing the algorithm itself. So let's hope that they keep the same format. But as I said, paper one, because at most, even if you get like an algorithm question, it's not like you're going to be valued at 30 or something like that. Hi, Demi from Irving. Hi. Right. It's not like you're going to have, so you max out the other ones and then you do what you can on that one. But nobody get stuck on the pseudocode question so much so that you don't answer the other ones. Bye, Latisha. Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Thanks everyone for staying for the duration. You guys have been on for 2 hours and 30 minutes and know that it is long and know that you guys are tired. Come back tomorrow and tell me how was the exam. Leave it in the comment section. All right. I think last year paper, if you check last year paper on my channel, you'll find specification questions. We did a query in this one, so when I post it, you can go back to Karen, as well as their database questions on the channel as well. Lucas done. In God we trust, and you will get a grade one. I'm a bright sparks. I'll see you guys. I hear from you. Hopefully, I hear from you guys tomorrow, and I'll hear from you guys when it is that results come out. All the best. Get some rest. You got this. Sure pass. Grade one. That we say.
Good night.